Mathfails. Shirtless slash pantless spiritual seems to think that determinism and free will, yeah, you think those are compatible. It's an interesting and wrong opinion. I like to think though there are disagreement here because I don't think there's any credibility to that. It's not really legitimate. That doesn't make any sense, really, what you said. I think it's probably just semantics, really. That's what it boils down to. So I'm going to go kind of like back to the basics here, and define our terms, these terms free will and determinism. Start with Free Willy and the fucking orcas. Dictionary.com defines free will as a free and independent choice, voluntary decision. Or, in the second definition, a philosophy, let me read it here. Philosophy, the doctrine that the conduct of human beings expresses personal choice and it's not simply determined by physical or divine forces. So basically, I like the second definition. I think it's more accurate. I think it's what most, the conventional idea of free will most resembles. And it's exactly really how I define free will. The idea that your actions have not been predetermined by existing biochemical processes in your brain. And those, all of which have been determined by your environment, blah, blah, blah. Now let's define determinism. It's just the doctrine that all events, including human choices and decisions, and I'm quoting the dictionary here, human choices and decisions have sufficient causes. All events, that's Webster for you, all events, irregardless of whether they occur in your brain or deep within your subconscious or outside, whatever, in the universe. Even human choices, that's part of determinism. The universe is fucktarded, and every fucktarded thing that goes on, be it in your brain or outside, has a cause. That's what determinism is. And those two are they're mutually exclusive. You can't have determinism and have free will. It doesn't work that way. Mutually exclusive. Their definitions, they don't jive. They don't go together. Now that bullshit's out of the way, let's get to the delicious, pantless meat of the matter. Mathfails. You said you believe in a paradoxical coexistence of these two doctrines. I guess your belief was based on this idea that our human consciousness has some free will. Let's see. That your belief in free will is based on some kind of extra, almost metaphysical aspect of the human consciousness, which is like as if our brain, or some part of our brain, some part of our consciousness, can operate outside of deterministic boundaries.
In order for you to say that free will is a true perspective, it's a right perspective, and you have to invoke some kind of assumptions, something like that.
But the thing about that is it's totally unsubstantiated. You can't. It's probably unsubstantiatable. That's a word. Something like that. the entire basis for our civilization, our grasp on reality it's based on a deterministic worldview. We believe in cause and effect. Everybody does. It's scientific empiricism. Science is based on determinism. Scientists, they make observations, and then they extrapolate based on those observations, and then they make a model of the whatever phenomenon they're looking at, and then they make predictions, and they test those predictions against reality. That's science. That's what we our entire culture is based on. It's deterministic reasoning, making predictions and shit about the universe. And we know from all this scientific and logical empiricism that this is how our universe works, cause and effect. All of our universe, it all operates under basic laws. Everything in the universe follows certain rules. In your brain is the same. Your brain exists in the universe. Everything about your brain is in the universe. So if you're trying to make the point that the consciousness contains some non-deterministic aspect, well then what you're really implying, in, if I'm putting words in your mouth, correct me if I'm wrong, what you're implying is that it must have an aspect that functions outside of the universe, or outside of our understanding of the universe. And if that's really what you're implying, then your claim can't be backed up. You can't provide evidence for this belief. If you're saying our consciousness has some metaphysical aspect, then that can't be proven, because logical and scientific empiricism, science, can only operate and can only describe things within our universe. I mean, what your claim does, essentially, what you were saying, it violates every principle of naturalism. It goes against all scientific empiricism. It goes against logic. Sorry.
Okay.